Howdy, Sly here again, once more after a terribly, sadly long day at work. Um, just thought I'd try one of these out again rather than spending half an hour to an hour actually writing something. I thought I'd be a lazy bastard and spend 5 minutes talking. So, one of my roles here, or at least what Theality's always asked me to do, is sit down and try to kind of explain not necessarily the challenges of trying to set up one of these sort of websites, specifically a religious one, but more trying to explain some of the issues, I should say, that I have as an atheist on a religious site. So I thought I'd try out today by having a quick little talk about how one of the interesting tidbits I've found as I sit down, go through the forums here, and actually check out what's going on in the world. So the most interesting thing I've always found is the idea of faith and how that works, at least amongst the sort of people that are attracted to this sort of website. Now, the most interesting thing I found, and probably the main thing you'll find if you hit on the forums, which you definitely should go there now, it's been one of these directions, but hit it up, register, have a chat. There are some people there talking very nicely about some really interesting topics. But that's a slight aside. The interesting thing is the way in which they're talking about those topics, at least in my mind. We have a lot of discussion by a lot of people who are trying, at least as far as I see it, to actually prove the existence or non-existence of a or many gods via some sort of evidentiary process, almost trying a scientific method to prove something that is completely and utterly non-scientific. Again, my opinion, not necessarily anyone else's around. Now, the most interesting thing I found about that is how people go about this. There are a lot of theories based on religious texts, on God knows what else. I'll be deadly honest, I don't even understand half of the stuff that these guys are quoting, partly because I haven't read enough of it. I mean, I just do not have that much time on my hands, obviously, hence the reason I'm home late from work, But I find it really interesting that everybody, at least on this website, and I'm sure on every website of a similar nature, anything that encourages religious discussion, always goes down this particular path for trying to discuss whether or not God exists. It always seems to be that evidentiary, scientific-esque sort of explanation, whereas in my mind, at least the way I've always seen this sort of thing, is you can't prove it. At least I don't think you can. I think religion should be based on faith, and should be based on faith alone. I think Theality actually summed up this kind of general idea really nicely in a recent comic, which, if I remember rightly, I'll actually stick in the wording underneath here so that you can read it and see it from his quick perspective. But the theory that he basically called out was the fact that he himself is quite jealous of people who do, as I say, have real hardcore faith. Those people who just believe. And these are the people that believe not because someone has shown them the evidence or shown them the proof or because they've run the numbers, but they believe because they believe. It's as simple as that. There is a God. They know there is a God. You ask them why? I know. I believe. It's there. He's there. She's there. Ganesh and his elephant trunk and many arms is there. Actually, she had many arms, but that's an aside. I think Ganesh might have many too. Anyhow, without looking at a picture, we'll move on. But it really is that dichotomy that I find really interesting about these websites and others, and it's kind of that that's really drawn me to it, that interest in how, almost a scientific, social experiment, one might say, as to just really kind of try and understand why people feel the urge to push it forth in this nature. I mean, I've had discussions on the forum, and whenever someone asks for my evidence or my proof, I'll be honest, I have none. I don't believe because I don't believe. It is as dry cut and simple as that. It's not because, on the 25th of January I looked up in the sky and there wasn't a smiling face down there, and I figured, well, hell, there's no smiling face, there can't be a God, right? So I just thought I'd bring that up as a little bit of an interesting note, a tidbit in my mind about how a website based on belief, on people's idea of religion, faith, is in a weird way almost full of an absence of faith. Now, don't take that as me saying that these people don't believe, that they don't have faith, but I feel personally like a lot of these people, a lot of the people involved in these websites and other websites like it, believe not because they believe, not because they have faith, but a lot of them may have faith because they have evidence. And I just thought that was a really interesting little tidbit to note about the way this religion works, or any religion works. Yeah. Regardless, take from that what you will. My personal opinion, faith is number one. If you have proof, great, whatever. Personally, I don't think it matters. If you're happy and you believe, awesome. If you're not happy and you don't believe, do something about it. Decide if you want to or not. I'm Sly. This is my vlog for the day. I'll catch you all on the flip-flop. Bye-bye.